Okay. Think we should be live right now. Definitely. Okay, let me grab this link, share it in the Discord so that people know we are live. Alright. Trader Cage. There he is. There I am. I see we have to check in queue first before this macro. I've looked at it for like 10 seconds this morning. That was also what I wanted to do. Yesterday we made the new all-time high. From there we have been rejecting a bit at a pretty logical level, as you can see. I'm not gonna say much more than that. From there started rejecting down. This has been used, that has been used. Of course, we expect to trade higher on a higher time frame swing, but right now we're down until proven otherwise. Asia's probably a thing we want to take out. Okay, never mind. Then this can get really interesting because ES took out Asia already. So this can be a first sign of a move towards the opposite side. Not really anything holding us back in this whole move. Is that also a London high? No, that's all the way over there. Okay, we also already gained something, so it can get really interesting in the coming macro. I mean, you don't have to make it more complicated than it is. You're down until proven otherwise. Well, we've taken out pretty much all our liquidity we have been building up. Only the Asia low and this low above it are still open. Do we need it? No, we don't particularly need it. If this was enough, then we can trade higher. We have a break of structure towards the upside right now, so let's see if this is gonna run away or make some sort of a pullback and then give us an entry. Okay, so we're gonna keep an eye on NQ, this macro. Then if the people that are in the stream right now want to put in their chart requests, make sure to do so. We already got some in the Discord, so I want to go over that as well. But for clarity, if you are in the stream, drop them in the chat as well. Also helps a bit with the algorithm. So also make sure to press on that like button so more people will find this stream. Would help me out a lot. Okay, so we're first gonna take a look at NQ, this macro, because it can get interesting. Then after that we're gonna have a look at some crypto, maybe some stocks, if people are interested in that. And then right now not really anything happening, so oh, no, I'm typing it wrong. Chart request from the Discord. CRV, never heard of the coin, but it's been here for a while. It was at all-time lows. From there we had a really nice accumulation at the bottom. On the higher time frame on the monthly, you can see technical target already has been hit. And also right here locally, if I zoom in, you can also see it. A really nice accumulation to start this whole up move. So that is pretty strong. Then we left behind this big demand. We tapped into that, and from there we continued going higher. Also, yeah, you never broke above this high. The 3-day, you surely have a break towards the upside. Yeah, definitely already had one over here. Weekly, maybe even. Yeah, weekly as well. Yeah, okay. So overall, you're pretty bullish. You expect higher highs and higher lows. This can be a pivot point for a higher low to trade above this high again, because we expect one in between this low and this high. This was a great demand to do it, and from there we have been trading higher again. We're respecting our demand still and taking liquidity from the highs, so that is still pretty bullish on this coin. Let's see if there's still some potential. If we're gonna go deeper, then this pretty much is your last demand to hold before you're gonna close below this low. So an interesting place to look for longs. Otherwise I can see we also have something right here, yeah. That is what we're holding support from right now. Overall a really strong support and resistance level. As you can see, you can draw this in as a whole box towards the left. A lot of interaction at this level. Rage, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna check SEC for you as well. Let's quickly hop back to the Nasdaq because we want to keep an eye on that. Okay. So we are in a pretty, we're at a support level right now. A lot of liquidity been building up. So it is, or we're gonna reject from this, or we're gonna start taking some liquidity from the highs, because if this move down, taking out all this imbalance and bouncing from this support zone, is it gonna be enough to target this liquidity? We probably have to create some more for ourselves. Well, that is what we're doing right now. We still have a demand left open here, so maybe you can get some sort of an accumulation to then start trading higher. But right now we are up, so we want to look at what the opportunities can be right now. Okay. If we're gonna lose this level, probably expected we're gonna go towards this level. So definitely a demand to have in your chart. Bit of liquidity built up above it. So this can be a place to continue your move to hold this low. So definitely a zone to watch for local confirmations to trade higher. But right now we are rejecting from a supply. So we also want to look at the bearish scenarios, of course. We can't only be bullish. For that we're gonna have to zoom in. Form the range right here. This can already be a distribution. Tapped into the extreme supply, and right now we're really close to our range low. From there's a small order block left open. So your technical target is this. But if that isn't gonna be enough, as you can see, a lot of liquidity being built up here. So if you don't bounce up from this level we have below our range, then you can expect to go towards this level. And as I said before, if we're gonna lose this level, we can look towards this demand, because then we don't have enough buying power to go over these highs. Of course, you need a lot of buying power to push through liquidity like that. Let's quickly take a peek at NQ. Ripping, okay. Sometimes it can do that, of course. What kind of bottom did we put in? Nice. Speaks for itself as well. Are you gonna take a market entry right here? Well, then you would have been really cheeky with your stop loss. Yeah. Could have, definitely. But just before the macro, and a lot of times you can get the test back. So do you want to take a risk on doing this with a deeper test back, losing your stop loss? No. The few times that this happens, you don't want to ape in for it. But valid, sure. I'm a more passive trader. Yeah, I don't think we want to make it any more complicated. I mean, pretty simple. I don't even want to go into the lower time frames more. Chart gets pretty choppy in there as well. Not the most volume on this chart I see. Well, that doesn't matter. So let me skip this song, by the way. Okay. Yeah, so small recap. Distributing right now. Technical target is your range low. So if we're gonna hold strong, we're gonna bounce from this demand and start taking some liquidity from all the highs we have been building up. If we're gonna lose this level, this is your demand to watch. And after that, you can go towards your last resort of this this whole up move. And that's it. This can be pretty interesting because you can see we're not having too big of candles, and then when you're building up all this liquidity, all of a sudden you have a big spike towards the downside into some demand. From there we're bouncing up. Can be an indication that we're ready to take out the liquidity. but we'll have to see. One more chart request, FXS from YOLOLO. If you're here, let me know in the chat. Oh my. Well, higher time frame speaks for itself. On the monthly, if you're gonna gain this, you're getting a whole lot more bullish. But right now it looks like a a big retail pennant. Just a huge compression on your higher time frame as well. Then I would immediately not touch this chart. Why? The market is indecisive when it is in a compression like this. So you're building up higher lows and lower highs. So there's a lot of liquidity on both sides. What you would wait for, take either side out, move towards the opposite side, or you can just bleed out on a coin like this. Or just start ripping through, of course, but yeah, right now this isn't all too beautiful to look at. Yeah, the bottom can be uglier. This is the cleanest, but yeah, I would not even look at this chart, my friend, but that's me. Some supply in combination with your old low, rejecting from it right now. Well, if we're not gonna hold strong here and lose this level, we're probably gonna take out liquidity from the lows. Yeah, there's untested demands everywhere. As I said, it is a ugly compression, so then your hold is there, and if you're not gonna hold there, you have a demand right here, and then it's just gonna get really ugly. I mean, I see the potential why you asked about the chart, because yeah, we're building up a lot on the highs, but just the market movements are so ugly, man. Right now it looks like we're just gonna go lower locally. Yeah, I just wouldn't touch this chart. I don't even want to go more in depth, because I can make an analysis for what is happening locally, but because you're in a compression, you don't know. I can say, okay, if you hold here, we can go higher like I did right here, but we can just rip through towards the downside and from there do something. As I said, if you're gonna take out the lows, see some strength from there, reclaim your old lows, yeah, then you can look at some longs. But right now you're just in the middle of the compression, so definitely not something I would touch. Okay then. Well, that's pretty much all your targets already gone on NQ, so if you wanted to be positioned, that would have been a market entry on this for value gap right here. But a bit too early for me. I saw Mino, he isn't here in the stream. Oh no, wait. He isn't here in the stream, so let's do Ray Chaser request first. I see I've charted this. Oh wait, I made a video about this. Oops, Zcash is this. Yeah, I made a video about this. I already forgot about it. Let's get rid of those demands. I see this is irrelevant. Well, it can be used as a breaker block, but let's zoom in what happened since the last time I watched it. What happened there? Oh yeah. Yeah, in the video I talked about, okay, if we're gonna hold strong, this is a demand to do it, taking out some liquidity. We tried twice. We tried right here, then we tried right there, but we couldn't, indicating we needed some more liquidity from the lows. We didn't even take out this low. Apparently doing this was enough to fill up positions, and this demand was still left open. I said, okay, we have already used it, but if we want to use it again, of course we can. Right here, the people that were bearish try to short, as you can see, from this old demand zone, getting it as a resistance zone, some supply as well. Where you're gonna reclaim this, that is pretty strong. As I said, a lot of people are gonna be selling right here because they think we're bearish. We can take out highs. They see price moving down pretty aggressively. So if we're gonna get it to rejection right here, they want to sell. Or if we're just gonna push up from our support zones, take over the selling positions, you are strong. From there we got a pretty big lag up again, taking out the liquidity point I pointed out in the video, and I said, well, if you have positions open, make sure to take profits there, because it is at the 175 level. There was a strong liquidity point, there was a bit of supply there, and a coin like Zcash isn't just gonna rip through until the $500 mark like a lot of people think when a coin like this pumps up. So that, now we have this range, pretty obvious. Let's get rid of this. Holding support from this old supply combination with this level. Deviated our high ones, deviated our low right now. So there can be two scenarios. We can form an accumulation right here, but where is this accumulation gonna go? We don't know. Can only go, yeah, this supply, something to watch. Last pullback before making a new low. So this is definitely something to reject from. Of course, we don't have to form a distribution or an accumulation, because we've already broken some structure towards the downside on our 4 hour. As you can see, this is the last pullback that brought us towards a new high. We broke that towards the downside, so right now you're expecting lower highs and lower lows. Of course, on a daily that is not the case, but price has to cool off and move lower at a certain point. Can this be the ending of this coin? Maybe. If you want to draw in this range, you could say you already have 3 taps. Oh, whoops, wrong tool. You can say you already have 3 taps because it is all within your deviation limit. Their technical target is gonna be this range low. I think I would draw that in as well. Look at this. Yeah, then this is definitely a place to look for rejection and maybe even shorts. And if that is gonna be gained, then we'll have to take a look at what happens at the range high again, or at this liquidity point. But right now you want to watch out. And then, excuse me, then from the range low, of course, we can bounce up again if we are strong enough, if people are ready to buy up Zcash again. Otherwise, we can go a whole lot lower. This demand is still relevant to look at, untested, etc. but I would watch out. That is a pretty big correction, even if we're gonna draw it from here. So then people lose interest, etc., etc. But right now, looking way more bearish than bullish. It has been bullish for too long. So okay. Then we're gonna do a last request from Mino FXS. Oh. Quick sip of the smoothie. Am I, brother? I'm not sharp. I see. I already did this. Mino, brother. Ethereum and Bitcoin I meant. Okay, I'm still not sharp. I see. I've been sick for a couple of days now, and I probably don't get track of what I already did and didn't. But okay, that's fine. Yeah, Bitcoin. It has been ripping up from here. Of course, with the government shutting down, and so that was a slingshot to go higher again. Also on gold. It was a pretty strong level to do it from. We are leaving behind a lot of demands. If we're not gonna test them, that is a pretty strong sign that we are really bullish. I want to get rid of those two because those are really far away. Yeah, we have just been smashing all-time highs, and is this something we should watch? Let's see. On what time frame is this range valid? 4 hours, sure. Then we can say we are starting to distribute. Yeah, on the 4 hour, your low to hold is all the way over here. Then you're already at your range low. Same for the 1 hour. Your 1 hour low is all the way over here. Let's see on the lower time frame. Okay, we already broke something. Then we already rejected something as well. This. And from there we have just been respecting our supply. And taking liquidity from the lows. Of course we can still go up. Because high time frame we haven't broken anything yet. But if we're gonna break this 1 hour and then eventually this 4 hour, we'll have to watch out, because this can be the top of this way bigger range on Bitcoin. Technical target 74k, 74.5 you must say. So this distribution in combination with this higher time frame distribution can be our starting sign of our higher time frame pivot point for a high, and then start ripping down. We don't have any confirmations yet. The daily to hold is all the way over here. And as I said, the 4 hour over there. But we have to keep this in mind. We did on the 50-minute, the bearish price action we have right now, it can of course be just to take out some local liquidity and start ripping up. On the high time frame we still expect new highs / all-time highs. So we don't want to get too bearish too quickly, but definitely some scenarios you want to watch. I mean, if we're never gonna trade above this high again, even though we can start trading up from here now, that can indicate that market makers are defending their short positions, and we are ready to go lower again. Let's see if ETH looks a bit. Yeah, ETH tried to distribute in this really big supplies on yesterday. Never got confirmations, just like on Bitcoin, and just started trading higher from this demand we had still left open, and taking some more from the highs. So let's get rid of all this. Let's get rid of this. Bye bye. Well, we had a big high time frame distribution on ETH. This was your technical target. That was been hit. Tapped it to some left open demand, and from there we're starting to go higher again. Oops. So market makers could have already reached their goal, and this was it. But let's see if we got some sort of a bigger range right now. Of course, this is a new range, so it can be something where we start distributing from again. Definitely something to watch, but you don't got any deviations on either side. Locally right now are in supply of this high. The 4 hour, this is your low to hold. The daily, this all the way over here. So what can we hold for support to go higher? Of course, this old high. You can draw this in as a really big demand, but I'm not gonna do that because then my chart is gonna get ugly. So just this arrow to go up from. Let me get rid of this song. Okay, and this is just all liquidity. You can just refine it by this, of course. Last bullish candle before you really pumped up. And then after that you're just gonna get into a trail of liquidity. Yeah, is there any support here? Sure, there are some order blocks. But are these really strong demands? Not really. This would be something I would draw in. Why? Well, we had all this liquidity right here. You can see we try a lot of times to trade above it. We can't. We come back once more, and this was the last struggle point we had before trading higher. So that could be a demand to put in the chart. What is this, man? Okay, that's better. What a playlist. It is your playlist, man. You sent me this playlist. But sometimes it is perfect. You can listen to it for hours. There's nothing wrong with it. And right now it's just all shit. It's horrible. Oh my god. Okay, Ethereum. So if we're gonna lose these levels, especially this level, because if we're strong, we're gonna hold. I sent you the artist, not the playlist. Yeah, this is the artist, not the playlist. It's just the artist on shuffle. But apparently he made some bad songs as well. But on Ethereum, if we're not gonna hold this level, because if we're strong, this is our most bullish level to hold to trade higher from. And of course we have a bit of a lower time frame level here, which we can hold with some liquidity. But if we're not gonna hold this, the rest is also just liquidity. This demand has been tested, brought us higher already. So then we're just gonna look at this. But then we also probably have already closed bearish below this low. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting place for Ethereum. As we all knew, market makers had been selling right here. If they still want to protect those selling positions for whatever reason, even though the technical target has been hit, yeah, we're gonna reject from here. And then of course in a daily, closing below that 4 hour is fine, we can still move higher from here. If this isn't gonna be enough, we have a huge zone over here. So, but then we get local confirmations. Let's zoom in a bit if we already got some bearish things to look at. This could be a supply to reject from right now, to go lower. Okay, this is a range. Want to go lower right now, we are gonna reject from this supply, otherwise this supply, otherwise we can just pump through again. Okay, so if anybody else has a chart request, feel free to drop them in the chat. Let's quickly see what Nasdaq did. Yeah. No chart request, come on, we have a lot of people in the stream. Drop something for me, do it. Dare to do it. There we go, rage, Avantis. Okay, this isn't looking all too good. Right here, we got a bit bullish again. Why? Change of character towards the upside and we traded higher. What do you expect? A higher low and a new higher high. Right here, in this demand we had left open. Oh, whoops, that's just an extension of something else. There was a demand we had left open. Once again had a structure pull towards the downside for this internal downtrend. We broke that towards the upside as well. That could have indicated that that was the pivot point to go higher again and put in that higher low and the new higher high. But we never traded above our high, never confirmed this higher low, made equals and just rejected and moved down from there, and just grinding towards the downside. Had a demand which should have brought us higher. It did for a while, but eventually small range. Yeah, just going towards the downside. We are in our last hold on Avantis right now. So if we still want to put in a higher low on this 2-hour trend, then we should do it from here, and otherwise it's gonna get really ugly. $12-hour. I mean, it doesn't look good. Distribution at the highs, of course, and just dumping now from there. But 12-hour, we can still expect a higher low and a higher high between here. Of course, it can be some false positives, but it still can be possible. I doubt it with the dumb down like this. A lot of untested supply still left open where we can reject from. And are we really gonna see a new all-time high on the Avantis? Sure, it is possible. It has happened before, but there are not really any signs of it right now. Of course, we can start a accumulation at this range. It has been in my chart for a long time. So if you want to do that, sure, that can give us an indication we can at least go towards this high. And maybe from there we have enough buying power again to target some more in the highs. But that isn't confirmed at any way yet. We have no deviations at either side. Yeah, so we'll have to wait on what happens with this range and see from there. But right now, locally down into proof and otherwise. On your 1 hour, this is a high to watch, probably 2-3 hours as well. So your mid time frame, a high to watch. 4 hours, a bit above that. Locally, we can reject from here. If we're gonna gain this, we can maybe see some local upside, but that depends, because then we immediately have another supply right here at the high to gain. So that can just be a move to grab some liquidity and just dump down. Yeah, I think on Avantis, I would just not touch it right now. There are other coins that look way better. I would just wait for this higher time frame range to do something and see from there. Because otherwise, yeah, it could just go way lower. Mr. XPL shared some things about this in the Discord yesterday. I know people also took some trades on XPL from the Discord right here. Good profit on it. Let's see if there was somebody else that shared it. I know someone said it. Too many charts in the chat. Even though people took advantage of this chart on XPL. So if you are interested in charts on crypto, trading setup, etc., make sure to join the Discord. So you're updated on coins throughout the day, not only in our videos or live streams. In our Discord, we share our thoughts on the market in real time. So what should we touch then? Look, that's a good question, Rach. I haven't gone over my my watch list yet today, so I wanted to do that in a live stream as well. See if there are some opportunities at some charts. I mean, we had some pretty big moves yesterday, like on XPL. Astor didn't give an entry. So yeah, let's get over our list and look at what is tradable. I want to take a quick look at this. Okay. I mean, it looks like we can look for some shorts, but never confirmed. This is still distributing on the higher time frame. Locally, a bit of an accumulation. Well, when the USDT dominance goes up, most of the times crypto will go there, go down because there's more USDT than there is crypto. Oh, hype, definitely not something to look at right now. Bit. What are you gonna do? I think I want to touch this, but wanted to look if there was some opportunity. This is just so ugly. We had this, yeah, what even is this? Really weird pennant towards the upside. Broke out of it towards the upside, tapping into some supply. Then we move down again, trading below some lows, getting in sellers. We aggressively take out those sellers, so that could indicate that we can go lower. Well, what confirmations do we need for that? Reject from supply, don't gain our highs, and just keep on taking liquidity from the lows. Are there any trading opportunities right now? Well, no. So we can just skip this chart. Although there's a range right here, there's a range right here. This range doesn't have any deviations at either side, and locally right now we have this range. We already deviated to low ones, so can it get into accumulation? Sure. Can it still get into a distribution? Of course. Still have this untested supply to reject from and go lower, to then do something on a higher time frame range. Really nice demand right here where we can form an accumulation at a certain point. And otherwise enough liquidity on the highs to take out. But this also has to form a bit more than it has right now. So let's get over to our next chart. Fantis we did, ADA, Cardano. To put in this bigger demand as well. Oops. What an ugly range this is. Well, it isn't ugly particularly, but pumps up and pumps down. This could be a really interesting place to look for a long on Cardano. Why? We broke this structure towards the upside. We can form an accumulation right here. So that in combination with the tap into this demand could be really, really nice on Cardano to look at. Because on the daily this is our swing. We expect a higher low in between this low and this high. Well, this was a really strong demand to do it. Still left open with some liquidity below it. We took that out, tapped it to the demand, and from there started trading up. So on the higher time frame, we have tapped it to a place where we can continue our trend. We're taking out some liquidity, trading higher, breaking internal structure, indicating that our internal trend has switched from bearish to bullish. And then we're doing it in an accumulation in this untested demand we have. This is the last place where sellers try to push the price down before breaking towards the upside, because of course right here we were still bearish, but the buyers took over and left behind structured demand. So if we're gonna get a accumulation in here, sure, can be nice. You can also try it in like this. So that is something I would watch on ADA, Cardano, but that is a bit more higher time frame. Oops. Right now we are just not capable of taking out our highs. This is so obvious. You can't take it out and you're just rounding down towards the downside, indicating we're gonna need liquidity from the lows. Is there any support? Sure, right here. We are in that right now. But if we're gonna lose this level, I mean, this is just all liquidity. So then you can probably expect to go towards here. Let's extend this range as well. Let's look at the DL2 of this one. Sure, can go into the demand and can go into the demand. So that can be really interesting on ADA. To come down, make that third tap into the demand, break structure towards the upside and trade higher from there. But that is not here yet. It can be coming this week. XPL, well, yeah, it reached its technical target of the range high, took out some bit more. What can we do from here? Of course, the market has to cool off. Let's get rid of this range. We know this happened. Let's put in our chart so we know market makers were involved. There we go. Oh, oops. Who cares? I'm gonna put in the refined zone. Yeah, XPL. If we want to hold strong, this is the level to do it. What do we have? Otherwise, well, a really big zone just below it. So doesn't really matter if we lose that. No, not really. Then we have this in here. Yeah, definitely. Last struggle point before trading over our highs. and start taking all this liquidity. You can see we really blew up from there. So if we're gonna form something in this demand, sure, we can go higher. If we're gonna form something in this demand, sure. Right now it just has to build. It looks like the whole market has to build. Supply we want to put in our chart, we can refine it like this. Let's keep our chart a bit clean. So yes, we can go higher from this, but then this is already a supply to watch to go lower. This is just a bit of a stronger demand to look at than this one. So yeah, demand to watch. Aster. Wait a second. Can you check NOT? Looks like we can look for shorts in the last for value gap. Okay, Rach, I'm gonna look at NOT after Aster. I made a video about Aster last week. And in that I said we can look higher. But this was a supply to watch to go lower again. Why? Pretty much the same as on Avantis, but just the other way around. At an accumulation at the bottom, holding our 12-hour structure, so we still expect a higher low in between this low and this high. This could be the pivot point to do it, and from there we can trade higher. We had an accumulation, tapping into some demand, and from there we also got the expansion towards the upside. This was a demand to go higher from. After taking out some liquidity, we did. Is this internal structure broken? No. Our lower time frame, we broke something towards the upside though. So if you want to keep this up move intact on Aster, these are the levels to watch. We all are building up some nice liquidity on the highs that can be left behind for a later up move. What can happen if we don't hold here? Well, we have this big demand. Let's just put it in our chart right now and get rid of the arrow. Below that, just liquidity. Below that, just liquidity. Test it away. Test it away. Test it away. Okay, then we have to watch out. Yeah, so if you want to hold this up move, this definitely is an important zone to do it. This demand. Because otherwise the rejection of this supply is gonna be finesse. We broke something towards the downside, and we can still just keep on doing this. Of course, a lot of the liquidity that we have been building up in combination with the accumulation has already been taken out. So if market makers achieve their goal, sure, they can push price down. Is there really any market maker involvement at the highs? I would say no. No, not yet. I mean, we don't have a distribution. This right now is of course a range we have. So we can go higher from here and start distributing. Then yeah, we know that market makers are really losing their positions right here. Yeah. A demand to watch. Okay, let's look at NOT. Okay. Oh my. Apparently I charted this a year ago. What is this? Volume, okay. Yeah, pretty dead. A range. Oh. Big zone to reject from. A lot of old liquidity lows collected here, so that is just a strong support slash resistance level. There was a lot of support right here, of course. Up move, up move, up move. If you're gonna lose it, it becomes resistant. So that is overall a strong resistance level. You can also see that locally we made the supply as well, which we are just in right now. Let's see if we have some sort of a range. Yeah, it is a range, but it is also just a retail pallet. Would I touch this right now? No. I think I would wait and see. Liquidity right here. Let's get rid of this. This is in the way. Of course, just trading higher right now. Building up a lot of liquidity on the lows. But this is just waiting on to be taken out. What is a place to do it? Well, if we're gonna get a liquidity hunt of this and instant rejection, then we can look at it. Internally broke some structure towards the downside. Can be a first signal. Did we ever had that before? No. Order block right here. We can already go lower from here. The volume isn't all too bad. I've seen it worse on coins that are this low below the all-time lows. But yeah, we had this break towards the downside right here. If there's a supply to do it, that is the supply to do it. And then there's a lot of liquidity we have been collecting on the lows to target. Yeah, I would just watch this supply. Can we go lower right now? I'm not gonna look at that time frame. Sure, I mean we can reject from this we created here. Of course, just a really big support and resistance zone. Originated our last high from there, so it's our low to break. That can just be used as resistance. So if we can go lower locally, that can. Yeah, you can't really get any nice local confirmations because you don't have clean structure. But otherwise, you will have to look at this supply. But then definitely, yeah, we have some signals we can go lower, sure. But don't forget, we still have this break towards the upside. I don't know if it's a daily. Yeah, it is even a daily break. So right there, we expect to go higher again. Combination with this accumulation at the bottom. this is also a scenario. This is your extreme demand of the range. So if we're gonna trade into this, break structure, it can mean we start accumulating and trade higher towards all these liquidity we have been building up if market makers are interested. So locally, yeah, we're pointing more down. Higher time frame, of course, still as well. But we already have had this break towards the upside. So by that, we expect to protect this low. And in between this low and this high, we put in a higher low and a new higher high. Of course, then locally you can get short into the long, because this is just waiting to be taken out. You're not gonna leave this behind. Bit of an accumulation right there. But that call has been completed. Can take out the high, trade lower from there. Yeah. Which for value gap were you talking about? Which time frame? Because there's a lot in this down move. Or are you talking about this for value gap on the daily we had left open? I don't really use for value gaps on crypto. I just use them to identify demands. And so yeah, you're talking about this one. Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, locally right now we can just go way higher. This is just an scenario I pointed out. But if we're not gonna get any local confirmations, we can go lower. Then we can just go higher. Because right here a trend is expected to do this. Then we can take out this liquidity point. Then, as you say, we have this daily value gap in combination with this whole resistance block of all the old lows, or this supply, sure. Youssef, hi, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome. Do you have any chart requests, Youssef? Yeah, that was an important liquidity high of our internal market maker buy model. This was our technical target. So yeah, that has been completed. Let's see what happens from there. We can just rip higher, of course. Watching little bit, but does not seem like you're a good trader. Okay, and why do you think that? Why don't you use for value gaps? Well, as I said, I use them, but I use them to identify supply and demand. In Nasdaq, we do use them. Of course, I know they can be used in crypto as well, but that is just not the strategy I use. Analyze for people not looking for plays. Okay, why does that make me a bad trader? You're obviously not in the Discord, but I talk about possible trade scenarios. Talk about looking for trade scenarios in this demand. Well, we're not in this demand, so why would I look at trade scenarios right now? I'm not gonna look at a trade right here if we're not in my point of interest, right? Would be stupid. Link. Distribution right there completed. Let's get rid of all this stuff we have been going on here. It makes you an analyzer, not even worth a trader. Yeah, sure, of course. Right now I'm an analyzer. I'm not taking any trades. You're completely right about that. But when I take trades in my point of interest, I'm a trader again. So I don't have to be trading all the time to be a trader. Okay, we are in a point of interest to look lower on Link. Why? We broke structure towards the downside. We bounced higher. From this demand. And why is this a point of interest for shorts? If we look at this, we had a really big range. In this range we had a deviation of the high, and right now we have taken out extreme liquidity. This change of character towards the downside on the daily can be you have journal. Sure. But on the daily we broke structure towards the downside. Indicating that we can probably go lower in combination with a higher time frame distribution to trade lower. Well, this is a daily demand that brought us towards that break towards the downside. From there we can reject. Let's see what is going on. but why? Okay. a combination with this higher time frame supply. Supply to watch for trades towards the downside. Can we all see so we know you're legit? If so, I buy course. Well, if you calling me a bad trader in the first place, even if I'm gonna show you my journal and you want to buy the why would I want you in my VIP or course if you're coming in flaming me like this, man? I mean, join the Discord, man. It speaks for itself, right? There are trades shared in there as well. So, help yourself. Okay, moving on. Link. We can be in a higher time frame distribution, so we want to look for shorts, even though this is still pointing up. We can look for shorts on local confirmations. What is the zone to do right now? Supply right here. Right now we are in a bit of a demand. Accumulation right here. Goal has been completed. Excuse me. Took out a lot of liquidity on the highs, and from there we have been rejecting pretty hard. So if you want to keep on trading down, this is your supply to watch on Link. Okay, fake trader. Okay, Youssef, you don't have to be here, man. Short range, bit of a scuffed Link analysis like this. He's getting me out of my focus, man. He's getting to me. He's getting to me. Bye, Youssef. What the fuck is that guy? Well, I mean, in some way he has a point, right? I'm just analyzing right now. But as I'm saying, how can I take a trade when something is not in the point of interest? But okay, doesn't matter. Most of the times people who come in hate on people that are doing something good with their time. They don't do something good with their time themselves. Probably a trader who full ports every trade. Moving on. So we are in a higher time frame point of interest. In there we want to look for lower time frame trade confirmations. In other zones we can draw in. This definitely is a zone to watch. If we still are gonna be bullish, we can of course just continue trading. Don't have any confirmations. And we will have to wait what is gonna happen. Because right now, internally, there's not really any structure to break towards the downside. Yeah. Would wait to see what happens in this supply. Otherwise, we can just go higher. these are your scenarios on link. If you want to keep this uptrend, look for longs in there. Otherwise, wait for local short scenarios in that supply. Cage, do you have a chart I should be looking at? Which I haven't looked at yet. Let me know. Okay. XLM. Really close to a big demand to look for support. Definitely a range to watch. Already got the deviation at the low. And right now we took out extreme liquidity of our range, which can indicate that market makers have filled up positions. And oh, wait, is this? Oh, this is a small deviation. So that can already mean we have 3 taps at the lows. And that we can move higher from here towards the technical target of the range high. Well, for that we have to zoom in and look if we have gotten any confirmations. Until now, no. I mean, not really any structure to break towards the downside. On the 1 hour you can always find something. Well, that's right here. But you got another indication that they could have been filling up. Why? Right here you reject from some supply, trade lower, also internally breaking structure towards the downside again, but we never take out this range low, and from there we just start trading higher again. So now, up until proven otherwise, of course. Oh, interesting. Get rid of that song. If we are gonna come down, because you can't complete the move in at once, so you have to fill up eventually. Right now, bit of a pennant. So if we're gonna do this, trade lower, this is a demand to watch for further upside. If we're not gonna hold this demand, it's highly likely that we can go lower, make a better deviation than this is. This is just, yeah, you don't really see it that clearly, just a couple of ticks below it. Yeah, then we can tap into this demand and properly deviate the range low and see from there. But for right now, definitely a zone to watch. Bit of a distribution at the highs here. Technical target, of course, has been hit. From there, started trading lower from this block right here. Just a big support resistance zone to the left. And now we're creating this retail pennant, so you just have to wait for it to break out. The bigger supply. Looking for some demand where we can hold up from as well, but can't really see any demand, so I don't want to fish for it as well. We already used this, and that can mean we can just go lower and leave open these highs we created with the distribution. Something towards the downside, not the cleanest by this wick, but this was the last low that brought us towards a new high. Of course, with the wick, that is your low. From there, we started this distribution, trading lower, closing below our low. So they expect a lower high within this level. So then this is a supply to watch. Then higher time frame, this is your demand to watch for longs if you want to respect this accumulation at the lows. And otherwise, yeah, right now we're just trading lower. Like I said multiple times right now, a compression like this isn't the nicest, or retail pennant, how you want to call it. because you can also do this, then start ripping down. What were you looking at on XLM range? I'm curious. Because I personally would not touch this, especially not in the middle of this whole range right here. Even saw this in, I don't know why I didn't do that yet. This can get a bigger distribution. So we're gonna go up, distribute the high, break something, either extreme supply or extreme liquidity. Locally you have a short. Because we are in this compression, we didn't take out either side of the range. So I would wait for something to form in this range or in this demand. I was looking for long. Okay. Understandable, of course. And where were you looking for longs? Q update. Well, this buy model has been completed, right? Technical target has been hit. Just before this liquidity point. So it can be the case right now. We're gonna need more liquidity from the lows. Can also draw this in as a box. Let's do that. This can be a first place to look for longs again on NQ, but right now looks like we're gonna need more from the lows. If we're not gonna hold there, front ran my short. Haha, you were aggressive on shorts. I mean, it got pretty obvious. You broke below here that if you're gonna leave open this high, you can look lower. What can you short here? This is a fair value gap, sure. Combination with this whole level. When you lose this internally, you can take a short. You could even do it like this. Break a block. Where was your entry at, Cage? Either right here or it is for value gap, I think. It is. Let's see where Rage was looking for longs. Um, 0.36, 0.35. Is this... Oh, I picked the wrong chart. Did I do this on Bybit? Apparently I charted on Bybit. Alright. Where's my demand? Well, great level to look at longs Rage. Definitely is your place to do it. It's also where I would be looking for continuation longs on XLM. But right now I wouldn't touch this. I would only touch this if it is gonna create this distribution at the highs. But yeah. For value gap in first, yes, look nice. Oh yeah, let's see if there was an... Oh, hi. Order is gone now, of course. Would have been TP already worth a shot to try and play the market. Oh yeah, absolutely. But we can create a nice swing higher, of course, if we want to take out the high once more. But we definitely had some signs of weakness. Especially right here with this break. If you're gonna leave open this high and get this internal break, yeah, then sure. Is there something I haven't looked at yet? Edge tells me to short, so I short. It's not like I wanted to, I had to. Yeah, then you do it. If you get some dinglings, then sure. No, the edge tells you you have to. I've been alive for over half an hour. My. 1.5 hours. So I think I'm gonna end the stream in a bit as well. Okay, Doge and Solana pretty much identical. Yeah. lot of charts just have to build. I have to go now, lunch break is over. Thanks for the stream. No problem, Rage. Thank you for being here in your lunch break. That is dedication. Lovely to see you here as always. Interesting. Solana. Let's see if we can get some advantage of this. To hold, what to hold, mister? Change of characters everywhere. On the 3-day, this is your day low to hold. But on the daily, we broke something towards the downside. So then we can look for shorts between this high and this low. What is a great place to do it? This supply. Well, we're also distributing at this supply. 3 taps already. Broke something towards the downside, so then we can look for continuation shorts. Nice high to leave open. Why? After this break towards the downside, a lot of people are gonna get bearish as well. Target all the liquidity we have on the lows. A lot of sellers are gonna step in here when we trade below this low. They get liquidated, and from there we start the down move with this liquidity, and we also made a supply, making the supply a bit stronger. So definitely something to watch for continuation shorts when we get in there. Technical target is the range low, but can we go even lower from there? Yeah, sure. I mean, there's not really any nice strong demand in there. Liquidity. went over a lot of charts. I'm gonna end this stream right now. Want to record some videos as well. So if anyone in here has a chart request, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, this is it. Okay, well, thank you all for being here, and then I'll see you in the next one.